Have you ever seen those warning labels that are on large plastic wrapping and packages? You know, the ones that say, hey, don't put over your head because you might suffocate. Now, a lot of you would be thinking, well, duh, like that's pretty normal. Who in their right mind would do that? Well, I guess there's people that are not in their right mind, they're in their left mind. So, which brings us to our topic du jour today, which is furries. Okay, now some of you might know what furries are, but for those of you who are not educated in this, this is essentially either young children or adults who believe they're animals. That's right. They're either wolves, they're coyotes, they're dogs, they're cats, they're beluga whales, you name it, they're any litany of these things. Now, on the surface, you might think, well, okay, this is just kind of like an imaginary thing. It probably doesn't go too far. Young children do this. Well, it's kind of scary when 30, 40-year-olds do it, but let's go back to the, young children aspect of it. This is not just make believe and pretend. These are young children who will walk around with masks on, animal masks, or they'll pin tails on themselves, or they'll dress in full costumes, not just for at home or for kind of role playing, but we're talking all day at school and places like that. These are young children and adults who will bark, howl, scratch, meow, whatever. I don't know if they go outside to take a dump and then bury it and go around sniffing around for it if they're dogs, but this is what's happening. Now, you would think in a rational world, we would be saying, what's going on here? Is that we've got to correct this. But no, the adults are more insane than the kids. They encourage this. They promote it. It's very similar to the trans stuff where if somebody says, hey, I identify as this, they say, we don't want to have to counter that delusion, because if we do that, that's going to hurt the fragile psyche of this child. I'm thinking if somebody thinks they're a dog for all their life, that's probably going to have a greater damage on their fragile psyche, so to speak. Now, where do I come? What gives me the right to be able to speak to this or kind of give people parenting advice? Well, I've been a parent. I've talked to myriads, multitudes of parents, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, yes, it's good to love your child, but encouraging a delusion is not going to be ultimately loving for the child. The only reason you're doing it is because you want to avoid conflict and you don't want your child to not love you. You are having a hard time being the parent, whereas you want to be their best friend. And their best friend should not be telling them that they are a cat and they need a litter box at home and at school. And yes, this is happening at schools. There are schools who are encouraging this behavior as well, that have litter boxes and have different kids that are dressed like this or in class like this. Now, it's not rampant, it's not everywhere, but we're starting to see it. We're starting to see it in society, and we're not calling it out for what it is, which is delusional. And what'll happen to these poor innocent children is when adults enable this behavior, when they play along, what's the kid to think? If you're a 7, 8-year-old, you're thinking, this is normal. Then when other adults tell you it's wrong, who are you to believe? Well, you're going to believe the person who's encouraging you, who you would consider to be loving towards you and agreeing with everything you say. You're going to believe those other delusional adults. And those adults, unfortunately, are setting you up for failure in future life. Because I can guarantee you, workplaces are not going to allow you to have litter boxes, and people aren't going to tolerate your needing to, do whatever crazy thing it is that you're wanting to do. So what is the solution? Well, the solution is like anything else, is to adhere firmly to reality and admit that gravity is such a thing that exists, and that no matter what you identify as, no matter what you think you are, that is not who you are. You are a human being. I hate to break it to you. You can't be like a cat and have 9 kittens or whatever the hell else that you might believe. And for those parents who are encouraging this sort of behavior, get your head out of your ass. You're not helping your children. You may believe these professional experts who are telling you that, young minds need to be encouraged. We don't want to be in any way condemning of anything. We don't want to have to tell kids the word no, that it's terrible. If you believe that sincerely, look around you, look at the world you're living in. It's getting more and more unhinged every day. These children need to have boundaries. Kids need to know what reality is. They need to know what truth, objective truth really is. It can't be subjective. It has to be objective. Kids need order. They need rule. Otherwise, things devolve into anarchy and chaos. And that is not a recipe for future generations. And if you truly are a loving parent who want the well-being and the best for your children, I would think you would want an adult who is functional in society, is an ability to have a critical thinker, and doesn't need to go into a litter box to take a dump. Anyway, I do appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can follow me on my Rumble, my locals. I'm on Twitter at Camera612, and I will see you next time.